Listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see attraction forever. This isn't some surface-level dating advice or cheap pickup tricks. This is the raw, unfiltered truth about what happens when a woman's desire for you becomes undeniable. When every glance, every touch, every word she speaks betrays a craving she can't control. And if you've ever wondered why some men command this kind of magnetic pull while others get ignored, you need to hear this right now. This isn't about manipulation. This isn't about games. This is about the invisible forces that govern real attraction, forces rooted in biology, psychology, and primal human instinct. Most men go their entire lives without understanding this, chasing validation from women who feel nothing for them, wasting years on dead-end relationships built on lies and desperation. But today, that ends, because once you see these signs, once you recognize the undeniable proof that a woman is drawn to you at her very core, you'll never second guess yourself again. You'll never settle for lukewarm interest. You'll never wonder if she's truly into you. And more importantly, you'll never have to fake confidence, beg for attention, or lower your standards. The power shifts to you, not because you've learned to manipulate, but because you've learned to recognize what was always there. So if you're ready to pull back the curtain, if you're ready to see attraction for what it really is, then don't you dare look away. Because what comes next will rewrite everything you thought you knew about women, desire, and the kind of man who inspires both without saying a word. When a woman craves you, her body reveals it in ways she can't control, because true attraction operates beyond conscious manipulation. It's written in biology, etched into human nature, and if you know how to read the signs, you'll see the truth playing out right in front of you. Let's break this down, not with cheap pickup artist tricks, but with a deeper understanding of what actually drives human connection. First, consider the eyes. There's a reason they're called the windows to the soul, because they betray what the mind tries to conceal. When a woman is genuinely drawn to you, her gaze lingers just a fraction longer than normal. She'll look away, then glance back as if pulled by an invisible force. This isn't random, it's instinct. Pupil dilation is a physiological response to attraction, an unconscious reaction to something, or someone, her nervous system deems compelling. You can't fake that. You can't force it. It either happens or it doesn't. And when it does, it means something in your presence has triggered a primal recognition within her. Then there's touch, the most primal language of all. Humans are wired to seek physical connection with those they desire, and women, in particular, are subtle but deliberate in how they initiate it. A brush of her hand against your arm, an accidental nudge when she laughs, a lingering adjustment of your collar, these aren't random acts. They're tests. She's measuring your reaction, seeing if you reciprocate, if you're attuned to the silent dialogue her body is having with yours. Touch is vulnerability, and when she allows it, even in small ways, she's signaling trust. She's telling you, without words, that she's open to deeper connection. Ignore this, and you miss the entire conversation happening beneath the surface. But perhaps the most telling sign is the shift in her energy when you're near. You've seen it. The woman who's composed and unshakable in public suddenly becomes flustered around you. Or the one who's usually reserved lights up when you enter the room. This isn't coincidence. It's chemistry. When a person affects your emotional state just by being present, that's not something you can manufacture. It means your presence disrupts her equilibrium in a way that demands attention. And that's the core of real attraction. It's not about performing the right moves or saying the right lines. It's about being the kind of man who, simply by existing in his full authenticity, alters the atmosphere around him. Now, here's the critical insight: none of this is about manipulation. It's about recognition. A woman who craves you isn't responding to some scripted persona. She's responding to the reality of who you are. And that's why the most powerful thing you can do isn't to learn how to spot these signs so you can exploit them, but to become the kind of man who naturally elicits them. Because when you embody strength, purpose, and depth, attraction isn't something you chase. It's something that unfolds as a natural consequence of your being. So ask yourself, are you living in a way that commands this kind of response? Or are you still pretending, performing, hoping to be chosen instead of stepping into the kind of presence that makes choice inevitable? The difference between those two paths is the difference between scarcity and abundance, between validation and power. And the choice, as always, is yours. When a woman truly craves you, she becomes hyper, attuned to your existence in ways that transcend ordinary interaction. This isn't about simple attraction. It's about fixation, a subconscious prioritization of you within her mental and emotional landscape. And this reveals itself through patterns of behavior, so consistent they might as well be neurological imperatives. Let's examine what this really means, not through the lens of manipulative games, but through an honest exploration of human psychology and the nature of genuine connection. Consider first the phenomenon of memory. When a woman is genuinely drawn to you, she remembers details about your life with uncanny precision. That casual mention of your favorite book 6 months ago, she brings it up in conversation. Your offhand comment about disliking crowded places, she suggests quieter venues when making plans. This isn't coincidence. It's the manifestation of what psychologists call selective attention. The mind naturally prioritizes information related to things or people it values. When she demonstrates this level of recall, what she's really communicating is that you occupy privileged space in her mental architecture. You've become someone worth remembering, and that in itself is a powerful signal. Then there's the matter of proximity, the unconscious dance of physical closeness that plays out between two people when attraction is present. You'll notice she finds reasons to be near you, whether it's taking the seat beside you when others are available or standing just a little closer than social norms might dictate. This behavior stems from an ancient, hardwired impulse, the same one that drives all creatures toward what they desire while still maintaining plausible deniability. It's why she might laugh a touch too loudly at your jokes or mirror your body language. These aren't calculated moves. They're the external manifestations of an internal gravitational pull. The key insight here isn't merely to recognize these signs, but to understand what they signify about the depth of her engagement with you. Perhaps most telling is the shift in her social behavior when other women enter the picture. A woman who craves you will often exhibit subtle signs of possessiveness. Not the toxic, controlling variety, but those instinctive flashes of territoriality that emerge before rationality can suppress them. You might catch her throwing a sharp glance at another woman who's engaging with you, or notice her suddenly inserting herself into the conversation with renewed energy. This isn't petty jealousy. It's the primal recognition of competition, a reflexive response to the potential loss of something valuable. It's crucial to understand this dynamic not as something to exploit, but as evidence that you've become someone worth competing for, which is a position of strength you should neither squander nor take for granted. The through line here is attention, the most valuable currency in human relationships. When a woman directs this degree of focused attention your way, when she tracks your preferences, seeks your proximity, and responds to social threats to your connection, what she's demonstrating is that you've achieved significance in her personal hierarchy of value. This isn't something that can be faked long-term, nor should you want to fake it. Authentic connections are built on genuine recognition of worth, not manufactured illusions. So the question becomes, what are you doing to merit this level of engagement? Are you cultivating the kind of character, ambition, and presence that naturally commands this degree of attention? Or are you still stuck in the juvenile fantasy that attraction is something you can extract through clever tactics rather than something you earn through genuine development. The harsh truth is that people, women included, invest their attention wisely. They gravitate toward those who offer something substantive: stability, insight, strength, or the capacity to make them feel truly seen. If you find yourself consistently failing to elicit this depth of response, the solution isn't to study female psychology like it's some puzzle to be solved. It's to undertake the more difficult work of making yourself into someone worth remembering, worth approaching, worth prioritizing. The power was never in recognizing these signs. It's in becoming the kind of man who inspires them without effort. That's the real work, and it begins today. What we're really discussing when we talk about uncontrollable attraction isn't some mystical force. It's the collision of biology, psychology, and raw human nature operating beneath conscious awareness. This is where social pretenses fall away, and something far more ancient takes over. When a woman craves you at this fundamental level, she's not making calculated decisions. She's responding to deep-seated evolutionary imperatives that have governed human mating dynamics for millennia. And understanding this changes everything about how you approach attraction, because it reveals that real magnetism isn't about techniques. It's about embodying traits that trigger these primal recognition systems. Let's start with the biological reality. Pheromones, chemical signals we emit without conscious control, alter the nervous systems of those around us. When a woman leans in closer to catch your scent, when she unconsciously touches her hair or neck in your presence, these aren't random gestures. They're physiological responses to chemical cues that signal genetic compatibility on an instinctive level. This explains why two people can have perfect surface level compatibility yet feel no spark. Their biology hasn't given its approval. The takeaway isn't that we're slaves to biochemistry, but that attraction begins in realms far deeper than witty conversation or fashionable clothes. You can't negotiate genuine chemistry into existence, which is why pursuing women who don't respond to you at this level is ultimately an exercise in futility.